The Great Pyramid of Khufu. In this work, we are going to uncover a mystery, but first we need to know what the word mystery means. It comes from the Latin word mysterium, which refers to the things of the night, the secret rites, and the hidden truths only known to initiates. One of these mysteries lies in the seventh wonder of the ancient world, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, also known as the Great Pyramid of Cheops. The name of the pharaoh is found inscribed on the cartouche in the king's chamber. The name means protection. Within the pyramid, a number of ascending and descending passages, along with chambers, mark the interior design of this edifice, which is made of solid stone, a witness to the unsurpassable craftsmanship of ancient Egypt, a testimony in rock that is built to last throughout human history. But why? A question asked by countless searchers of truth, a question yet to be answered, a mystery yet to be solved. This is our purpose, to reveal the things of the night, to reopen the sarcophagus of Osiris. The design of the pyramid is based on man's enlightenment. These are the positions of the planetary orbs in the solar system during that moment. The descending and ascending passages of the internal structure also follows the layout I have given for the chart for illumination. The scale for the Great Pyramid is based on the royal cubit of 24 pyramid inches, and this is equivalent to 24 British inches. When we enter the Great Pyramid, the two score lines in the descending passage marks the start of the message of the Great Pyramid. The distance from the score lines to the granite plug at the entrance of the ascending passage is 688 pyramid inches, or 28.6 royal cubits, and we derive the royal cubit by dividing 688 by 24, which gives us 28.6. The granite plug marks the position of the IC in a horoscope. This is the Imu Coli during Enlightenment, and is given as 1.4 Gemini. As the passages in the Great Pyramid run, we follow also the chart angles we find in the chart or horoscope for man's illumination. We discover that the distance from the granite plug to the end of the descending passage is 2,958.3 pyramid inches, or 123.2 royal cubits. When we divide the 2,958.3 by 24, we arrive at 123.2. Moving downwards, the descending passage from the Imu Coli in the chart for Enlightenment, which represents the granite plug in a Great Pyramid, by moving 123.2 degrees from 1.4 Gemini, where the Imu Coli is situated, we are located at 28.2 degrees Capricorn in the horoscope. The subterranean chamber and the bottomless pit represent the 12th house of the zodiac, the location of the subconscious in man. In fact, the descent into the Great Pyramid is the descent of the soul before man reaches illumination, and this usually takes a 3-day period. The distance from the granite plug at the entrance of the ascending passage to the start of the Grand Gallery in the Great Pyramid is 1,485 pyramid inches, or 61.8 royal cubits. This distance represents the measurement of the angle between the Imu Coli, represented by the granite plug in the Great Pyramid, to the descendant in the Enlightenment chart. By adding 61.8 degrees to 1.4 degrees Gemini, we move up the chart to 3.2 degrees Leo. This is the chart position for the descendant. The beginning of the Grand Gallery in the Great Pyramid marks the start of the horizontal passage to the Queen's Chamber. In the chart for illumination, this passage is the line of the descendant and ascendant. The ascendant in astrology is where the rising sign appears over the eastern horizon at birth. Therefore, the Queen's Chamber is constructed to represent the rising zodiacal sign of Aquarius that lies opposite the sign Leo in the zodiac by 180 degrees. The Queen's Chamber contains a niche in the eastern wall, like the hieroglyph for Happy, the Egyptian Nile god, having two zigzag lines, a symbol much like that of the glyph for the sign of the Aquarius, the The floor length of the Grand Gallery is 1,881.2 pyramid inches, or 78.3 royal cubits. Its length stretches from the north to south wall. This marks the angle from the descendant to the solar luminary. The descendant is at 3.2 degrees Leo. By adding 78.3 degrees, we arrive at 21.5 degrees Libra. The Grand Gallery floor line length to the Great Step is 1,812.4 pyramid inches, or 75.5 royal cubits. This marks the distance between the descendant and the planet Pluto. The distance from the base of the Great Step to the top end of the gallery is 68.7 pyramid inches, or 2.8 royal cubits. This is the distance the Sun travels past Pluto in the illumination chart by 2.8 degrees. The Sun moves 1 degree a day. The movement of the Sun past Pluto reveals the initiation time before the soul is immersed into eternity, the 3-day period. The boss on the granite leaf in the antechamber of the Great Pyramid shows the Sun's position in the sign of Libra, or the claw of Scorpio, it being the shape of the glyph of this zodiacal sign. The boss is the Egyptian hieroglyph for the house of bread, indicating the conjunction of the Sun and Pluto in Libra upon man's enlightenment, his resurrection spiritually into life. The Grand Gallery is a sevenfold cobbled vault that rises in height 286 pyramid inches, the length of the displacement of the passage axis eastward of the center line, representing all the planetary spheres above the eastern horizon on the 286th Egyptian calendar day, and this occurs after the Sun has conjunct Pluto at the moment of illumination. When our solar 12-month calendar is divided up into 360 degrees, and 30 degrees pertaining to a month, with a degree pertaining to a day, the 286th day would fall on the 16th of October in the Gregorian calendar, and this occurs in the period of the sun sign of Libra. The Grand Gallery, or the Hall of Light, is where the procession of the orbs was symbolized by ancient Egyptian priests in former years, i.e., and in order: Mars, Moon, Jupiter, and the planet Saturn. The king's antechamber has 3 portcullis grooves separated by the granite leaf that symbolizes 3 planets in the sky sign of Scorpio, and these in order are Venus, Mercury, and Uranus. We enter the king's chamber, symbolized by Sagittarius, the sign that is at the center of our Milky Way, and situated there is an empty coffin, an allegory for the planet Neptune. The king's chamber has 5 granite blocks representing 5 zodiacal signs, counting from Sagittarius. These are Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus, that complete the zodiac, that takes us again to Gemini, the sign that began the pyramid message. The king and queen's chambers are constructed with a pointed roof, representing the MC, i.e. the mid-heaven point in the chart of illumination, and the ascendant, which is the ascending sign that rises in the east at the moment of enlightenment. The vent shaft from the Queen's chamber opens out at the 90th core masonry of the pyramid, that is 1881.2 pyramid inches from the vent to the axis of the floor of the Queen's chamber. This indicates the light from the Grand Gallery enters the ascendant, which is Aquarius, on illumination. The internal structure of the Great Pyramid was constructed according to the planetary positions of the spheres in our solar system, which were marked after illumination by Egyptian priests. Who therefore would have thought that the mysteries contained within the seventh wonder of the ancient world, which has been covered from the eyes of men by the veil of Isis for thousands of years, should hold a greater mystery than men have conceived? This great pyramid, whose vaults and passages have been trampled by men in perplexity, speaks of man's enlightenment.